but it's an interesting one just because of its utility and especially like the blind fight later.
Yeah, nice safety to have, but looks like we are off already. And Uncle giving us some advice that the seat is going to be bootless until we have boots.
Thank you, Uncle.
Well, I guess it really doesn't matter what that first item is because we start with the sword anyways.
Oh my god. They get the fire rod.
Oh, that would be ugly. That could mean a very early Skullwoods Mothula fight.
Yes, I had that earlier when commentating.
Yeah, I would not wish a low equipment Mothula fight on anybody regardless of how experienced the runner is.
Alright, Uncle, are you gonna be nice?
Oh, we get the Canis Maria.
I feel like we're not gonna actually see that used too much. I feel like sword is generally more efficient.
Well, and they get bombs in the chest, so no worry about a drop either.
Well, they're basically set for escape then.
Yeah, pretty much just run through it. Rick might have a little bit of an advantage here. He does have some vanilla NMG speedrunning strats, whereas Zilvarro doesn't have any, so Rick's a little more used to just having to run through here with the sword.
Yeah, this is definitely a part of the game where a lot of past experience comes in handy because there are a lot of little minor movement things you can do here to speed up the escape. For instance, spinning that guard into the statue.
Yep, gets the double hit, which immediately kills him. Every second counts.
Alright, 2 more items before we go, or make our way over to the sewer. So I'm curious if they're going to try to put the ball and chain guard in a corner with a Samari block, or if they're just going to use some combination of throwing a pot and a lot of cutting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. We have a map there. Next chest they get has to be a key at this point. Or we'll be locked through the sewers.
Alright, so at this point it's just a quick run back to the throne room and making our way into said sewers. They don't have to worry about picking up any real resources along the way, since they've basically got everything they need already for at least a bit of the start.
Yeah, I got enough bombs to at least do Blind's Hut and the well. So there's 10 chests plus the 2 locations. And Kakariko, and we still have 4 items left in the escape to maybe get some more bombs to where you don't have to go buy some if you don't get any to drop or find any.
Yeah, hopefully they'll pick up at least 1 more pack of bombs along the way, just so that they can do the early part pretty much entirely through.
Yeah, 1 more pack would give them enough to go through Sahasrara, Ice Rod Cave, and Mini Moldorm Cave. We need any more, though, if they go anywhere else other than those locations. There's that key that has to be there. And since we've already found the map, the 3 items in the back of the escape plus the sanctuary chest are all going to have items now.
Let's see if it's going to work out like as I'm not going to say standard, but is pretty common that there's usually at least 1 or 2 good things down here. I've personally felt that a lot of these seeds have been fairly front-loaded.
Yeah, I've seen a couple where there's not too much early, but so far, you know, we had 2 very nice items. There's half magic.
Not required, but both of those are relatively nice to have. The Bloom Ring capable of stunning Gibdos and Skullwoods, because nobody likes giving Gibdos hugs, and half magic being half magic.
Right now, our piece of heart in sanctuary chest.
A quarter of vanilla.
So, question in chat about the quarter magic. Quarter magic is still a thing in the randomizer, but it's only in easy mode. Normal, it's only half magic. And Rick is just going to head right into the Lost Woods. Looks like Zilvarro is going to check tree poles and give us a lumberjack ledge check.
Arrows everywhere.
Yep, and crab pole.
That crab had so many bombs.
I wonder what he was planning on doing. I actually did not catch lumberjack on that first check.
Master Sword, you're in the wrong part of the forest. I'll be honest, I have no idea what lumberjack was there.
Yeah, it went.
Looked like it had a number.
Yeah, I think it was an upgrade. Because I went and checked the Twitch stream since it's a little behind what we get to see. But yeah, it looked like it was just a 5, so just like a, probably arrow upgrade or a bomb upgrade. But seeing the Master Sword this early makes you think, especially if they find a lamp, very close to being an Egg Seed.
Oh no. So Rick didn't pick up bombs from one of the bush crabs, so he's probably going to hope to either find more or have to buy more here.
Oh, a hook shot.
Great for when they can make their way up to Death Mountain. Logically requires the lamp and the power glove, but if you don't care about or the flute. If you don't care about logic, though, you can forgo the lamp.
Yeah, and I think especially if, you know, they just get the gloves and, well, they would have the lamp at that point anyways, but if it's looking more like an Egg Seed, that they'll sequence break as much as they can and try to skip Ega.
Yeah, nobody wants to go and fight him.
No,
Getting
not
the
at all.
blue mail in the well.
Single arrow. Another piece of heart. So Rick has 147 rupees. He's going to have to buy bombs if he wants to check the chicken coop, but he also doesn't have enough bombs for the bottle vendor then.
Oh,
Right.
I hope he can find 3 more rupees here.
Yeah, hopefully he can. He's going to check the back of the bar. Hopefully there's some rupees there. Oh, well, important, but now he can't get bombs.
Pearls are fairly valuable. Can we just, like, pawn that off?
Yeah, I mean, we don't need that to finish the seed, right? Who wants to go to the Dark World?
Yeah, Dark World's not nice. Let's go somewhere else.
And we'll see what's in there. Just piece of heart. So nothing major that Rick is going to miss out on from there, but he's missing bombs, so that means he can't get into Mini Moldorm Cave or Ice Rod Cave right now.
He's gonna make his way to South Shore here. All right, let's see what Zilvarro finds here. Library is just a piece of art.
Yep, just piece of heart there. And we're going to get a blind check on the race game. Well, there's the rupees Rick needed.
A little bit late, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we did find out that it's a 5 rupee for the stun prize. Oh, 20 rupees on the race game, and we find out there's some soggy bombs. Hopefully those fuses still work.
Really convenient timing to find those, and he's going to go to Agana's cave.
Yeah, it's interesting. Don't see this very often. A runner heading to Agana's cave this early. It's usually one of those last locations you check and you're forced to before going to Aga, or you just kind of route it in with the rest of desert.
I feel like it's partially justified given the given the lack of rupees and bombs. He's thinking, all right, let's do something silly just to attempt to make up the lost time there.
Oh, we get the red meringue.
Well, that's not what he was looking for, I'd imagine.
Probably not. Guess you do get the peace of mind that nothing's there, though, so that's always nice.
Yeah, if Zilvarro goes and checks there later, then it'll completely negate it, basically.
Map check that looked like Crystal 2 on Eastern. I believe I saw 6 up on Hera, and then a Blue Pendant on Desert.
It was a pretty good lineup.
Yep, Rick going with Sword Beam strats while Zilvarro pulls the hook shot out. We get some more rupees. There's a glove. 5 rupees, bomb upgrade, and the 100 rupees.
Pretty decent. Early game cash is never particularly bad, and the power glove as well.
Yes, power glove does put Zora in the logic. Rupees are not accounted for in logic, so it's very possible it might be a low rupee seed, and you have to farm rupees to get progression. But we've still got a few locations, and then, Death Mountain still is available. It is a sequence break, but we have access to everything up there except Hera and the Ether Tablet.
Yep, and we haven't seen Eastern and Shahabadu, or whatever his name is, yet, so... Still another approximately 6 items they could get over there, depending on the layout and EP.
Yep. And Ice Rod Cave is just a heart container. And from the looks of it, both of them are going to be heading to Eastern right now.
It makes sense at this point. Even Aghanim's not in logic yet, so...
Yeah, still need a lamp for him to be in logic.
I have a really strong feeling we're about to see a lamp. Or a hammer.
Yeah, because at this point it's either a lamp or hammer or gloves. The mitts will also give us access to Dark World right now.
Oh no, a bee.
Yes, to be in a bottle. And our green pendant. Ooh, Swamp Palaces are green.
So are we actually going to find it here? Or is the game going to make them go back to Kakariko for progression?
It's very possible. As far as locations, yeah, Sick Kid inside of Eastern and Zora is all that we have. Has to be something here. Are those little locations we have left?
They're also going to avoid doing the Zora check as long as possible because it has not been particularly nice on money at the moment.
Yeah, it hasn't. I mean, with the Moon Pearl, they can fake Flipper and check Waterfall of Wishing at the very least, which is 2 items. And, you know, I see them both doing any kind of sequence breaks as possible to try to avoid Aga with how many items they kind of have available outside of sequence.
Yeah, if you sequence break and pull up the hammer, it's like, okay, I just saved myself several minutes of having to use Aghanim for Dark World access.
I mean, we could find another fetch quest and they can find a shovel in here, though.
I mean, that can happen too. I'd rather the game give me more ways to, or more things to check before Aghanim than just saying, alright, just go fight him.
Yeah, which Rick might be happy a little bit about seeing the shovel just because he's got so many areas in Kakariko he hasn't actually checked, and you know he's probably thinking about those in the back of his mind.
Yeah, he could easily route them all into a single loop back through Kakariko.
Alright, second item out of Eastern. Wasn't anything important. And we'll see if the big chest has our last item. Oh, nope, never mind. That was a map and a compass. So both of the other items in here are locked behind lamp.
Yep, and one of them is going to be on Armos, which unfortunately they can't get at the moment due to not having the bow.
Right now, open locations, we've got Zora, Shovel, and Sick Kid are the current locations that are within logic.
It's really strange not having Aghanim as Cable on that list.
Yeah, typically you're always talking about it, but since we had that early check, it's like, nope, we don't even have to think about it anymore. Just 10 arrows, so 1 item left in here, nothing. We've got the shovel, that's about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both of them are actually, by the looks of it, just going to head back to Kakariko and check Sick Kid and Shovel. Unless they're sequence breaking mountain here.
I mean, Zilvarro might be sequence breaking mountain, but I think Rick is thinking about the locations he missed. He has shovel now, so he's just going to route it this way to be a little bit quicker since he's got to check library and race game anyways.
So if Zilvarro's lucky, he'll get something up here. Unfortunately, it's not technically in logic, whereas Rick is kind of approaching, theoretically, a guaranteed item of some kind. Whether it's one he actually wants is a different story, but...
Yeah, we'll find out if it's the shovel was the answer. And
yes,
shovel was the answer. There's our Titan's mitts.
Gets his prospector on, digs up some gold.
So yeah, now he'll check race game. He's going to see the 20 rupees. He'll probably nope out of that. Old man just has a 5-arrow upgrade. Yeah, and Amazing Ampharos pointed this out in chat that finding the mitts before doing a sequence break up to the mountain, they have Pearl and Hookshot. He has access to everything on Dark Death Mountain with the exception of Turtle Rock and Spike Cave.
Which will make his trek when he eventually heads up there much more efficient, not having to return a second time.
Yeah, which I almost expect him, even though he has access to the Dark World and he's right here to sequence break that before going into the Dark World. There's just too many items sitting there right now. And there's the money for Zora.
Oh man, coming back to Kakariko is the right choice at the moment.
You know, sadly, Sick Kid probably should have saved some of that so he could go to the doctor.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Let's see, Rick looks like he's not going to sequence break the mountain just yet. He's going to head right to the Dark World.
He's got stuff in logic to check at the moment, and it's quite a bit, so...
Yep. Paradox K, we got 50 rupees and red mail. Map check, we've got Red Pendant and Ice, and Turtle Rock is our 5. Or Red Pendant and Mire, not Ice. Nobody wants to see. Or go ahead.
I was gonna say nobody wants to go into Mire when it's a pendant at all, but you know, sometimes the randomizer just puts items in there. It's like, this is a dungeon you absolutely don't want to go into, but you have to.
I would rather go into a pendant Mire than a pendant Ice Palace.
I guess that's fair.
But yeah, now Flute actually is not needed to complete this seed. Well,
I mean,
we can have Flute anyways, I guess.
you were basically asking for it at that point.
The seed hurt us.
Unfortunately, no mirror to just quickly activate it here.
Now, you know what's going to happen now is we're going to find Mire in Thieves Town since we said something.
Probably. If that happens, chat will probably want to burn us.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but nothing really important up on Death Mountain that's accessible on the Light World side. Just red mail was really the only major thing there.
A nice safety, but not actually going to help progress in any real way.
Oh, wait, actually, yeah, chat pointed this out and don't want to say because what we did with the flute, but yeah, mirrors actually might not be needed for this seed either.
You're just trying to encourage it now. Yeah,
kind of, maybe. A little bit.
So the good news was coming into Thieves Town at this point. It's clearable, so... Blind is a bit of a pain, depending on whether you can keep them on script or not, but just being able to come in here and clear a crystal dungeon is pretty good. Unfortunately, no hammer if the big chest is, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the only thing that might come back to bite them is no hammer just yet if we have an item in that basement.
I think we found, what, 3 of the items already, though?
Yeah, I think we have seen 3, because, you know, big key, and I believe that's everything.
Yeah, two rupees and some arrows.
Alright, but Zilvarro got his mitts from the shovel dig spot, and he's heading into the Dark World himself now.
Going up to Skull Woods, though, first.
Rick forgot to hit the crystal, it looks like. But yeah, the Skullwoods play right when you head into the Dark World, especially from Titan's location. It's not a terrible play, you know, especially if you're used to playing V27, not so much V28 or V29 anymore, but Skullwoods used to just be, there was always something here. You came in here, there was something here.
Yeah, it held the illustrious nickname of Value Woods for a while.
Yes, it did. No key in those first 2 chests, though. So he's going to have to go back around. We did get a piece of heart, though.
Zilvarro got a little cornered by the Gibdos there. Fortunately, that is a case of red meal coming in hand. Oh man, another piece of heart.
Well, the nice thing is you got both items out of the Skullwoods. The bad thing is you didn't find anything you wanted.
Didn't have to go all the way to. Even if they did have to go all the way back there, they've got the red cane to make it easier. So, saving a little bit of time with it just being nice.
Yeah, and fortunately, finding a compass in that chest and not a key means that the small key is locked behind the big chest. So, blind will have the last item.
Yep, no hammer required this time.
And we get a 5.5 heart blind fight on Rick's side. And he clutches it out there.
Yeah, getting a little bit low on health, but hey, look, a bigger sword.
Yeah, which, to point out, chat did bring this out because of that small key being where it is. Even though you didn't need the hammer to clear this dungeon, the tempered sword is technically locked behind the hammer. So nothing huge because it's not progression, but it was hammer locked.
I'm kind of curious how the hammer gets involved in that, because you can't even get into the room to use the hammer if you don't have a small key.
I believe it's due to a potential soft lock is why they do that.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. Yep. I'm being silly. It took me a moment, but yeah,
And we're getting dig games at the same time. It looks like we have to make quite a few digs for a dirty book.
Well, that's... I'd say it's desert access, but I don't think they really want to go into Pendant Desert without boots. They probably won't go into Pendant Desert at all.
Yeah, I mean, without boots or a fire source for that matter either, not a very high play that you'll see very often, especially when you have so many locations you can still check in Dark World.
So interestingly, Zilvarro is not going into Thieves Town. Probably going to try to pick up that hammer just in case. But that is going to... That tree.
Alright, we're gonna get our first check on Hype Cave. Starts with a piece of heart. And then a full heart container, 20 rupees. Another heart container, and the Cane of Burna.
Another location with a discredited name.
I'm almost disappointed in the Cane of Burna being there because everything else was red until the Cane of Burna.
That's why he put it specifically at the back. It was, you know, just not the right color.
Of course. But I withhold my judgment on rating Hype Cave until we see Spike Cave at this point. Because if Spike Cave has something major, it upgrades the Hype Cave hype.
Well, unless they, like, find Cape. In which case we can just say Hype Cave was terrible.
Alright, both runners are going to go to activate their flute, get their swag duck. And we will hear the national swag duck anthem on Rick's side, so please rise and take off your hats.
I would just like to note the sheer amusement of the fact that the dwarf continues moving during that cutscene, so it looks like he's dancing.
Yes. He's dancing. You have to. It's the swag duck anthem. It's what the Hylians do. But the blacksmiths are actually rip-off smiths today. Pay them 10 rupees for a nice brand new shiny 5 rupee.
I don't often see them, you know, pulling off a scam like that, but...
Yes, maybe we can just say that it was like a commemorative edition 5 rupee. You know, like how you pay $50 for a $1 coin, but it's the special coin.
I mean, I guess that makes sense if you view them as like the mint or something.
Alright, and Rick is going to make the play up to Death Mountain. Gonna sequence break, grab the old man while he's here. And Zilvarro is going to do the purple chest with a save and quit.
This is a relatively harmless sequence break, unless it gives you something like really crazy that takes you off the rails, but...
It does help if you find something here to know that, you know, if you need the lamp, that, you know, gives you areas where the lamp can't be, though.
Or it can be an arrow upgrade and be entirely irrelevant.
Yeah, and Zilvarro is actually going to make the play to Desert. Sees a heart container on the ledge.
Not checking Agana's cave on the way.
Might do it on his way out. Okay, so we had a shield and spectacle rock. Yeah, no fire source or boots for Desert at this point, so could very well just be out of here very quickly. Unless you want to steal a key.
He might be willing to do that.
Yeah, I think if it's a pendant dungeon, you're a little bit more interested in doing that rather than a crystal, because you could force a, you know, a seed that didn't need boots to require boots at that point. Oh, we have a key, so we can at least check these 2 chests. And there's a big key. So boots are only needed if there's a major item on that torch.
And there's a slightly reduced chance of that now, given an item there.
Yes, indeed. So we'll see if the torch, that'll be our next check. We'll see if the torch has something. If not, we'll see the big chest. If it's not in there, last item is on Landmolus. Oh, just a compass on that torch, so boots not required by that.
Which is both kind of a good thing and a bad thing.
And a map in the big chest, so Landmolus does have the second item here.
Unfortunately, not an option to get that at the moment.
Nope. Can get all the way back to the torches, and then they're going to just tell you no. Zilvarro is going to go grab that heart container. I almost thought for a second he was going to go in there.
Just taking a nice, less sandy walk tag in his cave.
Yeah, well, okay. 20 rupees. Now Rick is going to head to the dark side of Death Mountain in Dark World.
And Zilvarro wasn't able to check this while they were up here, just as they hadn't gotten their mitts yet, so... Fortunately, with Hookshot already, this is going to turn into a bunch of items.
Yes, 6 items, and then technically Spike Cave is within logic because we do have a bottle plus Cane of Burna, and I think you don't even need the bottle for Cane of Burna. Plus, he'll get knowledge of Turtle Rock's medallion. So we're going to head off to the Mire area.
Find out about its medallion, too.
It's Super Brenda K, a piece of heart and a heart container and ether is what is needed for Misery Mire.
How vanilla.
Yeah, and it's actually open, that means, except for Vitreous.
Oh no, it is.
Mire Shed not having anything of value. And Zilvarro, and it's Quake for Turtle Rock. Is Zilvarro going to make the play into Misery Mire? I think he is.
This is a pretty big gamble.
Yeah, especially without a fire. If he might just be opening it while he's here, but he doesn't have a fire source either. So there are 2 locations that are just completely locked to him, and potentially 3 silvers in Hookshot Cave, though. And there's our lamp.
Speaking of fire source,
Okay, so Rick is going to skip the check on Spike Cave for right now. Yeah, and finding that lamp is going to hurt, could potentially hurt Zilvarro, unless he finds a fire rod here right now. Because that fire rod could be in a lot more places now. But Rick is going to head to Desert at this point with the fire source. He will be able to clear it if he wants to go for that second item here.
unfortunately not a crystal though, but if Landmolus has a required item, you don't have much choice in the matter, so...
But right now, this an amazing Ampharos. Oh, there's Hammer though. Oh, the play into Mire.
He's just out. It's like, nope, good enough, bye. That was like one of the most epic leads up to an unassuming item that's remarkably important. You just got this giant bridge leading to a box that has a tiny looking hammer in it.
Yeah, but yeah, finding the hammer there, that is huge at that point. I think fortunately for Rick, the way he's kind of been routing, the way he's been playing it is he hasn't really wanted to do any major sequence breaks. So he might not try to do any sequence breaks, anything like that. He might head to Mire shortly after this.
Yeah, I could easily see him doing that since he has... No, he doesn't know he has the medallion for it, but he might go and check anyways and find out, all right, well, while I'm here, let's take a look inside.
Well, that, and he doesn't have many locations that are accessible at this point. I mean, the lamp, he doesn't have a bow, so he doesn't have access to Armos. He can't get to Pod.
Was that the hammer can't get too far in Swamp, no mirror anyways, so
Yeah.
can't even get into Swamp.
Yeah, so he only really has Skull Woods, I think, outside of Mire. Flame Runner, the brackets. So this is week 5 currently. We've got one item in the bottom of Hera. We've got a 50 rupees. But brackets, week 6 is going to be 2 weeks long than week 7. So including the rest of this week, we've got about 3 days and then 3 weeks. And then we'll start brackets. But Hera is fire locked.
Bad for Zilvarro, but when Rick gets up there, he'll be able to go through that. Zilvarro's probably about to get his lamp anyways, though, when he does Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, for sure. And the reason why week 6 is going to be 2 weeks is due to a lot of the runners are going to RPG Limit Break and then Memorial Day weekend as well. So because of that, we don't want to, force runners to be able to have to do races in limited times. So that was what the administrators decided to do. But Zilvarro does get his check on Turtle Rock, sees it's Quake gonna head into Hookshot Cave.
Meanwhile, Rick's going to find out what land Malls is holding.
Yeah. And down goes Landmolus. Just $20. So I guess something interesting for Rick, when he goes into Misery Mire, since he has a fire source, he's going to get that hammer as his first chest. If he nopes out 2, or if he just goes and tries to clear the dungeon.
Well, we're going to find out pretty soon because he's making his way there now.
Oh, wait. Oh, wow. So Zilvarro skipped a chest in Hookshot Cave.
Did he now?
He got his lamp. He skipped the one with silvers. So unless he goes back there and remembers he missed that chest, he will be running silverless Ganon at this point.
That's really strange. Well, he's going to make his way to Thieves Town since he hasn't been in here yet, while Rick is going to hop into Mire probably.
Yeah, but depending on how the rest of this race goes, if this is a close race, going into Ganon's tower. That's going to give Rick a decent time advantage.
Yeah, not having to land multiple spins against Ganon during the final phase is, well, it's quite nice not having to do that.
Yeah, 4 silver arrows takes a lot less time than having to spin 12 times. Right now, I do wonder how Zilvarro is actually feeling, because he's 45 minutes in, hasn't cleared a single dungeon yet at all.
To be completely fair, even on Rick's end, he's got a pendant and he's down.
Yeah, he could potentially have a second pendant if he decides to clear Misery Mire, which will be interesting if he doesn't find a second item. Because, yeah, he's not leaving. So he's at least going to look for the second item in here.
Well, the good news is they don't have to worry about a pedestal seed until it gives them both Mire and Flippers. Alright, this is where Rick is actually able to check an item location that Zilvarro ultimately skipped out on due to having a fire source.
Yep, so we'll see. So 1 key, so I believe that requires the big key to be in the cutscene room. It will be in its vanilla location.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep,
More
another
small
key.
keys.
And Rick is making his way through Misery Mire with the low health very well.
Fortunately, red mail helping, but it doesn't change the fact that this dungeon is, in general, pretty scary. A lot of stuff in here can still actually do a fair bit of damage when you've only got 2.5 hearts left.
Yeah, for sure. Silvers were in Hookshot Cave, where Zilvarro did go, and I don't know if he just thought he picked the chest up, or what happened, but he missed the chest that held silvers. Yep, there's a big key. So 2 more locations to check here.
Rick being very thorough and making sure he gets everything out of the dungeons he goes into.
Well, Zilvarro gets his first crystal, taking down Blind and his Tempered Sword.
The good news for Zilvarro is even without silvers, it won't be a Master Sword silverless.
Oh no.
Oh no, one of the 2 items I said.
Yeah, there's flippers, so that is major, because it's going to take Zilvarro a while to come back here, I think, at this point.
The good news for Zilvarro is unless Swamp Palace actually has something, you can just sequence break to Ice Palace if you have everything you need to complete it. It's the only thing on here that requires flippers unless Swamp Palace has an item in it, or the green pendant has an item, or it's a pedestal seed. This is basically the supreme case of fake flippers possibly saving you time. Is being able to just not get flippers at all if it's Swamp Palace unrequired and Ice Palace Crystal.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll see what happens. And Rick at this point, and I think Zilvarro is going to be doing the same thing. He's going to make his way up to... Wait, no, he's not going there. Oh wait, we have the... Never mind, we do have the hammer. So yeah, we're going to Hera.
We also have the book this time too.
Yeah, which Zilvarro did check Ether Tablet when he was up here before.
Yeah, I forgot he's already been up to Hera because he had the hammer earlier. I mean, silly.
Which we'll see if either one of them decides to check Spike Cave when they're finished with Hera. Because this would be pretty much the last best time to route it in without just orphaning the location by itself.
Plenty of reason to do while you're up here. You still have a lot of items you're looking for too, so... What do we even need for Go mode still?
Well, assuming that the big key is not on the torch, then we're looking at Bow, Fire Rod, Ice Rod, and Quake. And that is it.
That's fair. Not quite as much as I was considering, but 4 items at the 51-minute mark. Having neither of the elemental rods yet.
Yeah, and that Ice Rod, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, the Ice Rod's bad when it's the only item you're looking for. Never mind when you need 3 other things still.
Yeah, it's not that bad when you're looking for that many items, but when it becomes your only item, it's just like, okay, it can be anywhere pretty much. Alright, Rick getting his coffee break and leaves, but he's doing it to get his health down to do a death warp.
Yeah, unfortunately without Mirror, it's usually faster just as warp than walk out of the basement. So climbing Hera, what do we have up here? We're still looking for one more item. The first thing in here was just 50 rupees, but... No, never mind. Well...
Nothing important.
That was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and really the chance of there being something on like Fat Fairy at this point, for Go mode it would have to be the bow. That would be the only thing that would be there.
Yeah, because the other 3 things we're missing are all for T-Rock.
Yes, indeed. Alright, so down goes Troll Dorm for Zilvarro. He'll get his second crystal.
Well, Norm, I thought you were Burger Snake. Why are you dropping a burrito?
Oh, Rick almost getting knocked down that middle hole and ended up getting the enraged Troll Dorm, but he gets him down.
Just
Picks
pokes
up his burrito. Yep, pokes, gets his burrito, and Zilvarro's going to check Spike Cave. Alright, so now we're about to be able to give our official hype cave hype. Okay, 2 out of 10.
Yeah, it sucked. Alright, Zilvarro, where are you going?
He's going to go back to desert.
Concerned about that item on Land Mollis, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where else. I guess pod. They could go to pod at this point. Pyramid, catfish, and Zora area at this point. Any flippers?
I feel like your door just opened. Anyway. It looks like Rick is heading down to find out that island is nothing in particular, but just do the aquatic checks, as it were.
Yeah, so Rick gonna kind of follow the items he's found so far. Out of Mire, let's see, Hobo has our first shield. Well, second shield. We've seen the other one.
We're stealing his dinner plate.
And I think Zilvarro after desert is going to head towards the pod area because he really doesn't have anywhere else within logic at this point.
Yeah, he really doesn't want anything to actually be behind flippers at this point, so he can just ignore it entirely.
Well, we got a bug net in the Waterfall of Wishing.
Oh no, how will he ever beat Agnem 2 now?
No swag strats.
Well, ledge item is not useful. But let's see what King Ripoff himself has.
What kind of lesson will he have for us today? It's a life lesson.
The good old life lesson classic.
Okay, where's Rick off to now? And Zilvarro's actually going to do a fake flipper. So where are you going, Rick? Has he been inside Skullwoods yet?
I can't remember. I don't think so. Well, his movement would indicate no.
Yes. And he's going to do the route from the back where you start with this chest first.
Unfortunately, ultimately going to cost him time since both items are in the front, but it's not going to be that much just because he's got the Cane of Samaria. The stream is really quick with it. Alright, time for a little bit of water walking here. Rick getting more keys.
Yeah, which is nice to the point where he does actually get to skip the one room.
Makes up for, you know, going and checking the back section.
Yeah. Yep, so Rick gets the second item of Skull Woods. He's done in here. For now, at least. Zilvarro gets his life lesson. Probably a little relieved to know that nothing's behind flippers right now. Or he will be, maybe. Rick, in the meantime, where are you headed? He might be grabbing purple chest, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe it had nothing in it, but... Oh, and hammer pegs, since I guess they didn't have hammer last time they were here.
That's true. Yeah, purple chest itself didn't have anything. Just a piece of heart in the peg cave. Where else is he checking then?
Bumper cave while he's up here?
I guess, yeah, you could check Bumper Cave to see if anything's, or if it's necessary to find cave. So nothing interesting on the pyramid, it looked like.
Well... Rick deciding he doesn't want to check Bumper Cave.
No, I guess he's going to check at least Catfish. And maybe he'll save and quit after Catfish, or he might check Pyramid. And then probably save and quit, turn purple chest. No, he's skipping Catfish.
He's just taking the purple chest on a tour at this point.
Well, nothing major there, just 10 arrows. Exact same thing we had on the pyramid, so... Okay, what is Rick... I guess Rick is just deciding to take the purple chest with him. Oh, he's gonna go check Catfish now. This is, I guess, a little strange on routing.
He's just having fun taking it around the map. It's okay. When you play enough rando, you just kind of want to carry a chest around for minutes on end. He's building suspense for what it could be, or what could be in there. Unfortunately, what he doesn't know is that we already know what's in there.
Alright, and Zilvarro's gonna head into pod, where, from the looks of it, this is where our progression has to be, outside of flippers.
Alright, Zilvarro's gonna make his way into pod. There's probably gonna be something in here. It's pod.
I think with everything that they have right now and what Rick has checked, there has to be something in pod.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other place it could be. What he doesn't want to see in here is the mirror.
Yeah, Mire will open up swamp for Rick. And Rick is going to the south.
Unfortunately, I don't think Fire Rod actually opens up anything itself either. I'm just trying to think what it could be.
No, Fire Rod would open up Ice Palace.
Oh yeah, it would, because they don't have bombos yet. That's a pretty big thing to open. You know, just a crystal dungeon you need to finish.
Yeah, it's only a crystal dungeon. Yeah, pod was not bow locked, so yeah, more than likely definitely something back here. And Zilvarro, before coming to pod, he did buy a potion, so he might think about doing the potion glitch. Alright, big key was in its vanilla location. One more key because it's pod. Why would you find anything else but keys early on?
Looks like he's going for it.
So the potion glitch is basically when you are in the hallway before the mimic room. When you're walking left, you're going to hug up this wall that he's on right now and drink a potion. When you do that, you hug the right wall going up, and you're able to actually move the camera in the next room, and you just kind of pull the wall to get the mimics off the wall or off the screen, and then it'll pretend like they're dead. Just like that. And it opens the door.
Nice quick run through there.
Because typically without doing that, you need to have the bow for these two chests. But only a small key back there. Rick also has a red potion, so he might be thinking about doing the same thing. So the main reason why this is not classified as a major glitch is because you can already hover to get to those chests. And since hovering is considered a minor glitch, they didn't think it'd be proper to do it as a major glitch at that point. Logic does assume bow for that room. You need the bow to get to that room. Anything other way back there is considered a sequence break, if there's something back there. Alright, so we got 300 rupees. And 300 more rupees.
Oh my god, it's a floor of money.
Yes, seriously. Probably like 750 rupees on that floor.
Pod not wanting to give us anything.
No, not at all. Right, there's the 10 bomb drop. I think it's got to be in the big chest then.
Yeah. Oh look.
The mirror. Oh.
Oh no.
Had to be the mirror.
Okay, so...
Swamp is open, and all mirror locations are open. And that does do one major thing to this seed.
It makes the ped accessible.
Yep, ped is now within logic. So Zilvarro is going to check all these mirror locations, going to walk right by Misery Mire where there's flippers. And more than likely, going to need those flippers at this point.
Yeah, these mirror locations have to really start providing progression items like right now.
Well, yeah, that's progression, I suppose. But it's very minor progression. The boat, well, it's very nice to find. Does not offer a lot as far as progression. You can get to Armos, which has an item. Not sure if Helmasaur is going to have an item.
It opens up a few more options on top of just the mirror itself. So it's a good thing for Zilvarro that that's there.
Yeah, it is, and it might take Rick a little bit to get there. He looks like he's going to just, follow the trail. I can complete a dungeon, and Swamp being not just a regular pendant dungeon, it is the green pendant, also holding 6 items by itself. This is 7 total items that you can get out of here.
Plus, if it does turn up to be a pedestal seed, it will also lead to that. So it has the potential to be required for an 8th one as well, depending on what it is. There's just so much stuff here right now.
I mean, the thing is, unless Helmasaur or Armos both have items, and we see like Quake and Fire Rod in Armos, something crazy like that, more than likely we're going to end up finding something in Swamp. Because Fire Rod is really the only thing that's going to open any locations that we don't have accessible right now. And then we would need Quake as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if Swamp does have anything, it's a really, really huge setback for Zilvarro.
Yeah, because he's going to need to make his way back to Mire at some point to find those flippers. And then he'll be able to go into Swamp.
Alright, well, we're going to find out about Helmasaur King pretty shortly, and we're going to start, depending on how Rick routes us, start opening up a bunch of chests here, whether he goes left side first or not.
Bo is in Checkerboard Cave. Alright, so we got a heart container.
Pendant Swamp showing some love to those who come and visit.
Okay, we're going to get a left side skip.
I guess he hasn't found the map and compass yet, so plenty of opportunity for them to be over there.
This is one of those boss fights where Rick is going to have a little bit of an easier time because he's got silvers.
Zilvarro just going to dismantle it anyways, though.
Yeah, it didn't take too much longer. Helmasaur played really nice, but just a heart container on Helmasaur.
Oh no.
There's a fire rod.
So Zilvarro absolutely has to go back into Mire at some point.
Yes. No question, he needs those flippers now.
And this is one of the dangers of grabbing one item in a dungeon and just deciding, all right, what are the odds of a second one being here? I'm not. Did he even have access to getting?
Yes,
No,
he did.
because
Yes, he did.
was it? Oh, it was in the small chest beside big chest, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
flippers were not fire locked, so he definitely had access to that before leaving.
Yeah, for some reason I thought they were in the big chest, and it's like he couldn't have got. Oh, yeah, it's right there then.
Which I don't blame him for leaving because he didn't have a fire source. So the chance of that item being locked out was fairly high, and it could be the only reason Rick didn't skip out on it was because I've got a fire source. I'm gonna stick in here just in case there's something in here, and it paid off.
Yeah, it makes sense that he hopped out, and Rick was just like, all right, I can actually full clear this if I need to. Zilvarro was just a case of, if it's on Vitreous, I'm just going to waste a ton of time walking around in here.
Yeah, or even locked behind the fire chest, because there were 2 chests, and if they held the big key, then it's 3 chests at that point that you can't get to, so you got 2 more locations that you could check at that point.
Plus, Vitreous is also locked out without the big key, so without fire, it just turns into 4 locations not accessible.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's dipping back in his swamp because there's one item, at least one, I think 2 items left. The big chest and both chests on the left side are available, but I think there's 2 items in here.
Yeah, he got the compass from Argus, so. It looks like the big key's on either on the left or in the big chest.
No, he picked the big key up.
Did he?
Yeah, it was I believe the waterfall room where you got to push the block to make the chest appear.
Oh, he's gonna grab it while he's running past here because he has to come pick up the small key.
Oh, there's Quake though on Armos.
Well, we're down to a single required item that can be on pedestal then.
Well, multiple items can be on pedestal that leads to it because the one item we need for go mode at this point is everybody's favorite ice rod.
Yeah, but all the others are fetch quests. They don't in and of themselves. It makes the runners really nervous when they see a fetch quest item there. It's possibly even worse than the ice rod just being there.
It's worse than the ice rod because then you don't know at that point. If you see ice rod, you're like, okay, I just need to kill the bosses, call it a day. If you see a fetch quest, you're like, it could still be there, but I won't know unless I do it.
Rick not grabbing the big chest there.
Yeah, that's interesting that he skipped over it again. And Zilla just gonna check some more mirror locations. Get a heart container, or not heart container, piece of heart. Quarter of a heart container. And the fire shield, and that, I believe that means the map is in that big chest.
Oh, that worked out so well for him.
And we're gonna get a check on Bombos.
If that was a double check on Bombos, if that was Ice Rod, that would have been absolutely catastrophic.
And bombs on Bombos, because why not?
It makes partial sense. Well, it looks like Rick's going to take this opportunity to clear Skull Woods. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while before Zilvarro can do that, because he's probably going to check absolutely all the overworld he can first.
Yeah, thankfully there's not too much that he has to check. Because it's really only mirror locations, and at that point, he's kind of out of options. Probably needs to go back to Mire. So, piece of heart on Bumper Cave Ledge. He also, and this actually isn't a bad idea, he might be thinking pedestal. And, yep, he is. He already has 2 of the pendants. He just needs to dip back into Mire and clear it at this point, if it's a pedestal seed. And if it is a pedestal seed, we're either going to see a fetch quest item or ice rod at this point.
Yeah. It's...
Oh!
Oh no!
That's the mushroom!
So, that aforementioned worst case scenario.
Yeah, the worst case scenario just happened. It could potentially be a fetch quest for the ice rod. So chat, if you got hyped, you're going to have to get hyped, and we're going to have to stay hyped until we see an ice rod.
I feel like Rick is going to clear everything else possible before going back to Mire for that, though. He's absolutely going to do Ice Palace before going to collect that.
Yeah, I think he'll go... And the thing is, like, he'll check Ice Palace, he's not going to get the bow. Probably check mirror locations. Oh, Zilvarro's going to head into Turtle Rock at this point with Quake, so we're going to see if it's Fire Rod locked.
If it's not, then he's unfortunately going to lose a bunch of time here. Moss, please get out of the corner. I'm curious if Rick is concerned it's any of the items he's missing, because he doesn't actually have Bow and Quake yet, so...
Yeah, there are 3 items technically he's missing. So we only need to know location of Ice Rod. Well, there's Boots. So it is Fire Rod locked. That's probably just going to lead Zilvarro on more of a wild goose chase, at least for the flippers that he's going to need. And Quake is on Armos. Alright, Rick, where are you going? He's going to check mirror locations now.
Yeah, he absolutely doesn't want to... If he can find the items he's missing, then he'll get to go mode Ice Palace. That's kind of a bit of... It's not likely given or when you're missing 3 different things, but you never know. It's Randomizer.
Yeah, but I know Rick won't actually find Ice Rod because Zilvarro's already checked all the mirror locations. Oh, he hasn't checked Lumberjack either.
I didn't see what Zilvarro just got out of King's Tomb.
It was a blue goo.
Well, blue, but not what we're looking for.
And apparently Rick saw like the bottom 2 pixels of it, and that was enough for him to say, I don't need it.
I'm guessing it's a number. He's got to be seeing a number and just feeling like, nope.
Yeah, and it was just a single rupee in the bonk rock, so boost didn't lead to anything. Yep, and Zilvarro is making the play back into the mire. Oh, and there's one other location we haven't checked yet that Rick has access to. I don't believe he's turned his pendant in yet.
No, he has not. He probably wants to hopefully group that with finding the bow.
Yeah, which if he's checking mirror locations and goes through all the mirror locations, then Checkerboard Cave should be on his list to do soon.
Oh, looks like he's on his way to hand the pedestal, the pendant in now. He's going to pick up and take the entire pedestal to Sazrala. All right, get it out for me.
And with him not having the bow, he could think Sahasrara has the bow, and it's like, okay, well, I can clear these two now. Oh, Sahasrara just holding a big bag of rupees.
Rich old guy.
Well, he's living all on his own. He's living under the radar. And Rick is going to dive into Ice Palace and going to full clear it.
I mean, one would logically expect to find the ice rod in Ice Palace, so... Of course,
Yeah,
that's
it
not
would
necessarily
make
what he's looking for, but...
Yeah, it would make sense. Let's see, if we don't find Ice Rod here, we're not going to find a mushroom or the boots. The only other thing we could find in here... I guess, well, Ice Rod could be Turtle Rock at this point. Would be powder.
Yeah, that's...
I just wonder if Rick would go into Turtle Rock before just going and clearing Mire and pulling the pedestal and checking Mushroom.
Well, he can't because he needs Quake, which requires the bow, and that would probably be one of the last things he'd likely do. And he already has to be over in the Mire region anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, he walked past the big chest in Swamp Palace, so... Alright. Looks like he's gonna go for... Yeah, looks like he's going for the bomb jump.
Yes, he is.
I'm curious if he's hoping that he can just kill Cold Stare and maybe Cold Stare will have the Ice Rod. Oh, right. I keep forgetting that he's looking for several items.
Yeah, he's looking for 3 still. So this makes more sense for him. There he gets the bomb jump. And Zilvarro about to get his flippers. The question is, will he clear Mire while he's here? No, he will not.
With the sheer amount of item locations open by that, saying I'm gonna go kill Vitreous just in case it's a pedestal seed is. Because he knows that logically opens, what? Like 5 aquatic locations plus the 7 in Swamp Palace, plus everything. If he finds a fire rod, it'll open Ice Palace logically.
Well, this would only open up Swamp for him because he did fake flipper the Zora area.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
There's Ice Rod.
Goodbye, pedestal.
Yep, pedestal's dead. And cape. See, I believe right now this race is actually really close. Might not look like it just because of the difference, but Rick still has to find the bow. And once he finds the bow, that's going to lead him to Armos and Pod, which will get him Quake. So he's not going to... Nothing's really open for him when he finishes Ice Palace. He'll still really only have mirror locations at that point that are within logic. So he'll probably check, the cave south of the Grove, and then Checkerboard Cave, and he'll have his bow. But Zilvarro's already cleared out Eastern Palace and Pod, so what we'd want for it to be even closer is Zilvarro finds the fire rod and immediately leaves this area.
Yeah, if he grabs a fire rod and is like, I'm just going to go do a crystal dungeon and head straight over to Ice Palace, he could be in a really, really good position right now, because he's already got Eastern and Palace of Darkness done. Rick going to attempt to refill his magic here. There's a few in this room and a couple in the other, so he's got plenty of resources.
Yeah, without Bombos, he needs at least half the magic.
Alright, let's see this cold stare fight.
Yep, not even going to play around with this fight, immediately uses that red potion.
Yeah, it makes sense. This dungeon is a huge pain to come all the way back through, so definitely want to take the safety and just make sure Cold Stare actually dies.
Yep, 2 puffs, 3 puffs, all of them down. So grabbed his fire rod. He is going to finish Swamp, it looks like. Or at least go to Aron. He is going to leave.
Okay, if he heads to Ice right now... yeah,
because Rick found Ice Rod relatively early in Ice Palace.
Oh no!
He's
Turtle Rock.
Going white? Yeah, Turtle Rock. Oh
no!
Never mind.
He just wanted to emulate a save and quit. Oh, he's gonna go buy some potions and head up to Turtle Rock, I think. Just the way he's moving.
Yep, Rick is gonna get his bow. because he's heading to checkerboard.
Yeah, this is probably going to stop him from going into Mire and actually finishing it. He's going to see this and be like, all right, I've got 2 dungeons there. Oh, Zilvarro's heading to 8.
He is heading. Yep, he's going to ice.
So he's going to pick up his ice rod here and be in go mode.
Yeah, so Zilvarro's going to be in go mode. Rick still needs Quake, which he will find on Armo, so we'll see. Rick pulled the Flute out, so he's not planning on going into Mire to pull the pedestal. He's going to go clear Eastern and Pod.
Yeah, Rick is functionally in go mode at this point because he just needs to clear these 2 dungeons as quickly as possible. He's going to get the item along the way. And then he's going to be able to head up to T-Rock. Meanwhile, Zilvarro needs to come down here until he finds the Ice Rod, finish Ice Palace and Skullwoods, and head up to T-Rock. So they both got 2 dungeons to clear.
Yeah, and Rick can't boss rush Helmosaur. He didn't use the potion glitch. So he's going to have to go through the Bullock side still to pick up that 1 small key.
This is going to be pretty close, all things considered, because Skullwoods is a short dungeon, but so is Eastern. And Ice Palace, as soon as he picks out the Ice Rod, he's just going to head straight over there. If he does the bomb jump, he basically just has to run over a couple rooms and jump down, and he's there, so...
Yeah, if he does bomb jump, definitely. It'll be close. If he does decides to not do the bomb jump to do a full clear, it'll be different then.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to where the big key was. There is one thing noting in chat that can still also make this really swing around. It's not going to be an issue probably because Rick's can get them, but Zilvarro has been running around for at least a little bit with the boots, so it's helped him get through some locations faster.
Yeah, I think that's what's allowed him to kind of catch up, because Rick did have a little bit of a lead as far as where he's been checking, everything like that, but Zilvarro having the boots like he has is kind of shorten that gap a little bit. Okay, so Zilvarro taking a little bit of a different route, I believe, than what Rick did, so it's going to take him longer to get the eyes right. I think he's actually going to end up full clearing this.
Yeah, and unfortunately that's going to cost him a lot of time. Zilvarro is going straight to Cold Stare, and...
hopefully he comes back in.
Yeah.
He might just be gambling Cold Stare as the last item, because I think he's found... No, he has only found 1.
Oh no. If he leaves here, he might be trying to grab... He might be hoping the Ice Rod's in Turtle Rock, and he's just going to kill Cold Stare, kill Mothula, and just head up there and attempt to finish everything in one cycle.
Yeah, that's possible. Yep, he's leaving.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he dips into Turtle Rock with the Ice Rod, that's going to give Rick a huge lead at that point.
To be completely fair, just returning to Ice Palace and having to go through another entry section of the dungeon is a pretty huge lead.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Rick's just going to teleport outside here, mirror to Eastern, get the Quake, go up to T-Rock. Well, Zilvarro's going to probably do the same thing from Skull Woods, and unfortunately get up there and find that Ice Rod's not there.
Yeah, and with Fire Rod and everything else, he will be able to get all the way to Laser Ridge.
Yeah, there's not going to be anything stopping him from doing the full clear now. I feel like this is going to be the type of race for Zilvarro where it's probably going to affect his mindset for a while as to whether you fully clear dungeons you go into or not. Because he's unfortunately missed 2 items now between the flippers and the ice rod.
Yeah, and I mean, like the play he decided to do for Mire, that one did make a little bit of sense because so many items were potentially locked at that point. But Ice Palace, when you're looking for just the ice rod, you really can't afford. I mean, any chest you skip at that point, you're gambling.
The problem is, after having had that double dip into Mire for flippers, he probably feels extremely behind in the first place, and he's just absolutely hoping that the seed is the perfect lineup to just let him finish it now.
Yeah, because if that was the case, then he would actually be slightly in the lead right now. Because Rick still has to get to Armos and get his Quake. Whereas Zilvarro just got his 6 crystals, so there would literally be Turtle Rock, Ice Rod in there, right to GT.
Yeah. So it's just an unfortunate case that the earlier gamble set him back. It was entirely logical to make that gamble. Like, odds were in his favor. There wasn't going to be anything there to cause problems, but unfortunately, when something like that happens, you just sometimes go into a mode where it's like, I need to do something to make up all that lost time. And in this case, it looks like he just risked there not being what he needed in Ice Palace.
Yep, so he's going to make the play to Turtle Rock. He knows Mushroom is on the pedestal. And Rick has his Quake. He knows he's in go mode at this point.
He's also in red mode, apparently. I don't know what's happening there. So yeah, he's just going to go through T-Rock as quickly as T-Rock's layout allows, and make his way up GT after that.
Rick does not have boots, but Rick is about to get the boots. They're the first chest that you typically check in Turtle Rock, so he'll have them.
Which means we won't have to worry about any shenanigans involving Big Key on Dorge.
Nope. Ice Rod is not in Turtle Rock. Ice Rod is actually in Ice Palace.
The freeze ray is in the freezer. So Rick is probably going to pick up boots here and be like, why couldn't you have been earlier in the seed?
Yeah. It's like you giving me boots when I'm in go mode.
It at least removes the worry of the little bit of worry that it might be big key on torch, but it's one of those cases of come on, game.
All right, so there's our first key. Yeah, we're gonna see probably two separate or different routes through Turtle Rock as well, because Rick is gonna be in go mode, so he'll steal a key from Pokey. Won't check the vanilla big key chest unless he doesn't have the big key at that point, where Zilvarro is going to be doing full clear, checking everything.
I think at this point the big key has to be in the chest, doesn't it? Because they didn't get it in the front three here.
Yeah, that actually might be true.
But he's probably going to not worry about the big chest itself, maybe. That would be a bit dangerous, though, because if there's a small key in that...
Yeah, I think you still check that chest in case of a key. You just skip Mimic Cave.
Unfortunately, there's Pokey getting away from Rick. This room is not being nice to him.
No, it's really not. So yeah, he's got to be careful.
I'm curious if he's going to opt to take a death warp at the big chest door just to ensure that he doesn't get further and die at the last second.
That would make sense.
Because I'm not sure if he's actually got anything in that bottle at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's empty because he used the red potion against Cold Stare. I don't believe he's taken a return trip to the Witch. Ice Rod is in Ice Palace. Yep, he is going to death warp.
It makes sense. The last thing you want to do is get towards the end of the dungeon and basically get hit once into a hole and die.
Alright, this chest is going to have to be a key, and then our last key will be somewhere on Laser Bridge. Right. Tatsu, the race, unfortunately, is actually... Rick has a very large lead. Ice Rod is in Ice Palace. Zilvarro decided to go mode Ice Palace and miss the Ice Rod in there. But yeah, outside of that, this race has definitely been a very good race. If you've been enjoying it, definitely give both these runners a follow. But we've got a small key, first chest on Laser Bridge from the top. There's our bombos.
Yeah, we've had a lot of interesting decisions in this race. So Zilvarro realizes that the ice rod's not here.
Yeah, and I think at this point he understands he's, you know, either he thinks he's way behind, or, and Rick is actually going to check it from the opposite, so he'll get the small key last. Oh, Zilvarro's going to be going back in a swamp. I wonder if he's thinking about pedestal now, because he did check it and he saw mushroom.
Yeah, I think that's the direction he's going in. Or just possibly the fact that he left a lot of items here.
Yeah, that is also a possibility, because he didn't kill Argus, he skipped left side and big chest. And I believe that's 3 items, because Argus also had an item himself.
Yeah, plus the green pendant. So at this point, it's basically like full desperation for Zilvarro. He knows that two decisions have gone really, really, really wrong in every way possible, and he's just doing absolutely anything he can to try to catch up or hope that he's doing something his opponent didn't.
You know, I think, you know, chat brought this up too. It's like, you know, you gambled on the Ice Rod Turtle Rock, you busted on that, you're basically just, you're gonna go pretend it's a pedestal seed at this point and beeline the fetch quest, because really, like they said, if it's anything else, you've probably lost. But we do have crystal number 7, and we are on our way to Ganon's Tower. We already have the game started up thanks to our tracker, so please get your guesses in quick. Any guess from 1 to 22 gets you into the leaderboard if you are the first one that successfully guesses and you're a supporter of any of the speed gaming channels, either by subbing or by donating at least 250 bits.
All right, let's see what we've got here.
Alright, chest 1, we got a heart piece, which turned into a heart container, and then we got a 5-bomb upgrade, so we're gonna be going left side. Key on the torch. Sorry, Bob.
Bob, no!
Alright, so we're about to get 4, 5, 6, and 7. Four, we got a big 20. 5, we got a heart piece. 6 is our compass. 7, another small key.
More small key.
Yep, 8 is a small key.
I'm guessing at this point Rick is actually probably feeling behind. I don't think many people are in GT at 155 and think they're ahead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because he hasn't really made any like bad plays or questionable plays that you'd think would put you behind. He really didn't make any gambles. He pretty much just kind of followed the logic, and where it took you, that's where he went.
He has checked a lot of locations though, and it's just a case that with a single move on the opponent's part, it could be very, very different once you've cleared so much.
Yeah, that's about it.
You're kind of hoping that they also check as much as you did, or completely miss something.
All right, 10, 11. So we have our big key on chest number 11. Bottom right chest of the rando room, and we are on our way up the tower now.
Time for everybody's favorite gauntlet.
Yep, run the gauntlet so you can fight Aga 2 and then fight the big pig himself. But congratulations to Darkphase for correctly guessing the big key.
Alright, getting to the cannonball room. Now we can have a gauntlet. I got a little bit excited for the gauntlet and realized afterwards, no, wait a second. There's still some more rooms first.
Yeah, just a couple. Yeah, he's heading right into Mire.
Yeah, he's gonna go get that mushroom and turn it in, and it's... Have we seen the silver arrow yet? Or the silver arrow. The single arrow?
I don't know if we have or not. Okay, according to chat, we have seen single arrow so far.
Alright. Well, he doesn't have to worry about that being a thing then.
Actually, I think I know the best thing that could be behind the mushroom.
The best thing in the actually pointing in right direction, or the best thing in trying to make someone rage quit?
Rage quit.
Okay, go ahead.
Vanilla powder. Rick has a nice triple whiz rub room. Off to the quad.
How can we make this harder for the follow-up? Let's add another whiz robe, put it on conveyors, and throw a spike in the room.
Yeah, they can't do that in one shot. Watch us.
I like how that's their solution to everything in GT. We need to make this harder. Spikes and conveyor belts.
Yeah, and then it's like the last room before Aga. What can we do? Add some bumpers while you're at it. And some monsters.
And ice, yeah. Ice, conveyors, spikes, floor spikes, helmosaurs.
The room of nightmares.
The room you just pull the the cape out and run through anyways.
Yeah, that's typically what happens. But alright, don't even need to get a key, but he's going to open some chests, gets a bee in a bottle, probably looking for butter sword, finds 50 rupees instead.
Could also be hoping for another bottle of some sort containing something useful, like a bee.
Well, that's the most useful bottle, right? Bee strats on Ganon. Alright.
Launch bee, pull out blue king.
But yeah, Zilvarro has a very nice fight against Vitreous. Well, Vanilla Powder Dream is dead.
That's great for Rick though, because he didn't get to powder this anti-fairy.
But that's bad for everybody watching. They wanted the Vanilla Dream.
But Rick's item grid is complete now. Not the one on the tracker, the one in his inventory, but...
I was like, yeah, the tracker, we're missing Mushroom. He needs to leave and go get the pedestal right now.
Alright, Zilvarro. That's what you wanted, Rick? You wanted the powder?
Yeah. It's like, I got my health back. I don't need a butter sword anymore. Alright, and Zilvarro are going to go pull the pedestal to get his mushroom.
It's probably going to flute straight overhand that in.
Yep, flute straight to 2.
Master Mushroom.
Ega's not being very nice on this fight either. But Ega 2 goes down. Time for Ganon.
Alright, moment of truth on this mushroom. What is on the mushroom? Ugh.
So the pedestal was bombs.
Well, you really can't get too much more disappointing than that, unfortunately.
Not really. Single rupee and a single arrow, maybe the only thing's worse. Gets the 300 off of Sahasrara. Now where's he going to head off to? He is going to go back in Ice Palace.
You need to be careful, Rick. Ganon is supremely not huggable.
Yep, and that last fire bat. Alright, we will get Ganon Part 2. Ganon wanted a second fight, just like Ega typically gets a second fight.
Yeah, because that wasn't fair. One of his forms gets it. Rick, I know you like the bug net, but you can't catch the fire bats.
Yeah, they don't work like Ganom's balls, sadly.
Rick must be feeling really cold right now. He is taking all of the fire bats.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage. But gets to phase 3, so the hardest phase is gone.
Yeah, once you get to phase 3, it's pretty simple when you've got tempered and silvers.
Alright, and there's phase 3 finished. We did in fact find the arrows. Sets up. Oh.
Almost getting it. Ooh.
Oh, got the Ganon hug though. That might be a triple. Nope.
These alternating torches are not being nice.
No, they're not. Alright, he's gonna like kind of get in position.
Going to hit him during that tiny, like, 3-frame window.
Yep, got the sword swing on that, but he does get the 4th arrow in again, and so GG to AdirondackRick.
GG to Rick. That was a seed.
And he does finish with an official speed racing TV time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 25 seconds.
Well played after everything that that seed wanted you to do. And Zilvarro's about to learn the bad news.
Yep, sees the ice rod, knows he's getting go mode, and is gonna make his trek to Turtle Rock.
I do not know how. I really do not know how. I do not know how. Like, in full honesty, I should have lost that race. It came down to the end. I know. I have a feeling I know what happened. The seed wanted you to go so many directions, and I'm going to guess that something happened along the lines about one of the major turns in this race. Anyways, I'm going to join the room. I will go ahead, had the mic on here, had the mic on there, so I'll talk to you guys shortly. We're not going to be doing the races with the Skyville races, unfortunately.
Okay.
I mean, I felt like it was going quite well there.
Yeah, so, alright, we do have AdirondackRick in the waiting room. I'm going to go ahead and pull him in, and we'll have a chat with him.
Pedestal. In that...
And we are joined by AdirondackRick. GG.
How did this one happen?
Well, we heard you talking to your chat before the audio's changed over that you think you know what happened. So, what do you think was the main deciding factor?
If I had... Give me 1 second here. Okay.
All right, yeah. What ultimately did you think caused that?
I'm going to guess maybe either he got misled by the mushroom, or he skipped out of Misery Mire with only 1 item.
What if we said it was all of the above?
Oh.
So, the main one... So he did skip, he got the hammer, he immediately noped out of Misery Mire at that point. The main thing that actually got him was, and it probably it came from the fact that he noped out of Misery Mire, he go-moded Ice Palace and missed the Ice Rod. Up until that point, if he would have gotten the ice rod on his turn, you got the bow as he pretty much got the fire rod.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to do swamp or not swamp. He had to do Skullwoods, Ice Palace, and then you had to do Pod and Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And then you both had to do Turtle Rock at that point. It would have been an extremely close race. You would have had a slight advantage, though, because he went to Hookshot Cave and he skipped one chest in Hookshot Cave.
Silvers?
So,
Wow. Oh, that's painful.
Speaking of skipping chests, I actually have to ask you about that one. The big chest in Swamp Palace.
I just walked right by it without any thoughts. Just forgot all about it and got lucky the fact that the 2 items are on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that worked out really well. That could have been really cast off, but we noticed it when you were going through the room. It's like he's not checking it. Is this a calculated gamble or?
No, this was me just derping, walking by it, and just forgot to check it, not realizing that I had the big key at that point, and just got relieved when I found the fireball shield in that one final chest.
Well, you're keeping track of items, so you didn't have to worry about doubling back. You did
Yeah.
and they were like, all right, I've got both of them. I did walk past the big chest, but it's just going to be, I think, the burrito at this point. So you were able to just take off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What a seed.
It sent you guys everywhere.
2 pendant required dungeons. The third one was desert, which had nothing in it. A mushroom on the pedestal that makes you go, And I'll tell you something. Until I saw that bow and checkerboard, I was gonna go back into Mire and play the pedestal game.
Yeah, you can probably blame us for that pedestal mushroom because we're talking about it's like, all right, what's the worst thing that can be on pedestal? Fetch quest item because ice rod. It's like,
But I was like, okay, that mushroom is now in the back of my mind. Do I go back into Misery Mire thinking that this is a pedal required? And I'm done with the Swamp Palace, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna make the play. I'm going to play this as if this is a pedestal required seed. Oh. Okay, scratch that, reverse that. Let's head to Eastern and Pod.
yep.
convenient. What I needed.
And then Armos drops your Quake.
And then Armos drops my Quake, and I'm like, okay, please don't have the boots be being led to something here in regards to the key on the torch. First chest in Turtle Rock. Thank God.
Yeah, that was one thing that kind of let Zilvarro catch up to where it was such a close race until that Ice Rod was because of the way he routed. The first time he went up Death Mountain, he didn't have Titan Smiths like you did. So he went back up when he was actually able to access Turtle Rock. And he dove into Turtle Rock a lot earlier without Fire Rod and saw the boots there and knew he was Fire Rod locked, but he had the boots probably a good 30 to 35 minutes before you ended up getting up there. So let him kind of catch up as far as the gamble from the flippers.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, I could see that one happening, and I knew Quake was out there, and gotta love that mirror spot too. Like, I knew there was something in Palace of Darkness by the time I got there, but what? What's gonna be in here? Are we gonna have Bow and Pod?
Again, that's probably our fault because we did say what's the worst thing we could find in Pod, and we're like, well, Mirror would open up Swamp and Pedestal and all that, and yeah, there's the Mirror and the only thing you find in there.
I hope the chat roasts you a new one.
Oh, well, we found the Butter Sword.
Where was it?
The upper left chest of Rando room.
Eh. I'm like, nope. No need to check those last two. Just get up the tower. Obviously, it would have helped me on Ganon because I missed. I could have sworn I had the six swings on him to send him to stage 3, and then all of a sudden, nope, you're still on Trident stage with the bats.
I'm curious if when the hit slide didn't register, just he was. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, something had to happen, and I don't know what, but it just sent me a little bit off because here I am expecting him to go into the pounding stage, and that left me down to one hit until death, and I didn't get a fairy in Ganon's tower. I was very happy about where that powder turned out to be, though.
How about that bee?
That bee can go shove it. No, better yet, it can go buzz off.
Ah.
But no, this was an interesting seed, and I was surprised just because of how late I got into the Palace of Darkness, because I think Palace of Darkness would have been a nice earlier play, realizing that it was going to have something to progress the seed, but just what it was going to be. I didn't want to go there without the bow, and it turns out you had to go through there to get to where the bow was.
Yeah.
Forced double dip for that one for sure.
Yeah. And then there I get the fire rod. I'm thinking fire rod is what's going to lead us to where we need to go. So, like I said, I really was starting to believe that that mushroom was going to lead to progression here. And I was about ready to go all in back into Mire and go right straight to Vitreous and claim that final pendant. But then the bow just sent me on a different direction.
It was a really convenient placement for the bow.
Oh, yeah.
So the one question I have about the early game is how your routing had to change because of your lack of bombs.
Yeah, that felt weird, but I was like, okay, I don't have the rupee since I ended up buying from the bottle vendor, so I'm going to come back when it's convenient for me to do so. And it turned out going east turned out to be super convenient because I got the bottle so I could check Sick Kid and the shovel in Eastern, which obviously led to the mids.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice cycle back. You had mitts, I think, a little while before Zilvarro got them, because I believe he sequence broke up to Death Mountain immediately.
Oh, yep, totally can see it.
So yeah, by the time you got up there, you were just like, oh, I'm just going to do light and dark Death Mountain at the same time.
Yep. Didn't help me that I forgot what was on the ledge up on the island, so that was also in the back of my mind. Oh no, is Quake up there? Ugh. And then normal, like, mid part of this run, I had no luck. End of the run, seemed like finally things were going my way.
I definitely agree with that statement. The first part of the seed definitely didn't, or, well, the mid part didn't seem to like either of you, to be completely fair. But it started behaving for the most part after a little bit, so.
I mean, I'll definitely take this. It keeps me in life for brackets, that's for certain.
Yeah, I was going to ask, now that you're 3-2, how are you feeling about the next few weeks?
After the last two seeds, last week was one of those cases where it was the last possible spot for progression. This seed started to feel like the same way, and it's not a good feeling. And I know that down the road, I'm going to have to get quicker seeds or start playing a little more, get a little luckier, as I think is what I need to say. But thankfully, I'm still alive as far as brackets are concerned for one more week.
All right, so Zilvarro is approaching his Aghanim 2 fight here. He should be, he'll probably be finishing up in the next few minutes. Speaking of Aghanim, the patterns in this fight.
I love how blue balls ripped, killed me from being able to get a triple, and then I got them all out of sync.
Yeah, patterns were not very friendly with this at all. Alright, but down goes Ega 2 for Zilvarro. So he'll be onto his Ganon fight. First couple phases are going to go pretty quick, but we're going to have to do spins on that last one because we don't have the silvers.
Pokes Ganon in the face with a hook shot.
I mean, he deserves it. It's his fault we have to do this.
I guess that's true, yes.
It even says in the opening credits, Ganon spreads the items all over Hyrule. So this is all his fault. Yep, checks his inventory for silvers, doesn't see them. So we're spinning 12 times.
Link has got to be dizzy after this fight.
Probably a little bit. He is having a very nice silverless Ganon, though.
Yeah, you can tell he's used to doing this. He came well prepared for this.
I think we only need a couple more.
Or you can just explode, that works too.
Yeah, yeah. Right, but Zilvarro does take down Ganon with the silverless Butter Sword. So get your GGs in chat for Zilvarro.
GG to Zilvarro. Definitely, definitely big thank you for choosing to finish this seed out after everything that happened.
Yes, definitely. But he does finish with a speed racing TV time of 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 51 seconds. All right, we'll see if we can get Zilvarro in here for an interview. All right, we do have Zilvarro in the waiting room, so we're going to go ahead and pull him in. All right, and we are joined by Zilvarro. GG.
Oh, hi. Sorry.
All right, there we are. GG.
Thank you very much, GG Rick.
GG to you as well. What a seed.
Yeah, that pedestal bait.
Yeah, I was getting really nervous about that too myself, and I was telling these guys during the interview while you were finishing up that I almost took the bait until I found the bow and the checkerboard.
Yeah, I decided to go mode Ice Palace, hoping for the Ice Rod to be in Turtle Rock. And after that, I totally took the bait and yeah, did the pedestal.
And I'm sure you had a good reaction when you got the bombs out of it.
I was so sure it would be the Ice Rod because the whole time I was thinking that book led to absolutely nothing. And so, yeah.
Yeah, for me at that point, it was either the bow could be there or the quake could be there. And then when I found the bow, it was like, okay, I've got 2 dungeons I can find. I only got 2 items left in these dungeons, but come on, be the quake somewhere in these 2. And you know how that ended.
Yeah, interestingly, Zilvarro had already done those dungeons by that point. You had found the bow earlier, went and cleared both of them, and got the quake. So you were actually only looking for the ice rod during that last loop, whereas when Rick was kind of contemplating the location of items, he still had 3 left.
Yeah, it was a case where getting done with the swamp, getting the fire rod out of there, I was like, okay, well, let's go up to Skullwoods. Let's finish that off. Let's see what's on the pedestal, because that's going to influence my decisions from here on out. And I'm a fungi. Oh no. Oh no, please, no. I just had a pedestal seed in my week 4 race. Don't give me another pedestal required seed.
Oh, for me, this was worse than a pedestal required seed.
Yeah, I love the both required, double required items in Misery Mire.
Oh yeah, did you also leave after the hammer?
No, I thought about it, but I'm like, okay, I'm sticking in here to get that second item. I can't leave without knowing what that second item is at this point. Hello, Flippers!
Yeah, I think I probably did Misery Mire a bit earlier, and after the hammer, I still didn't have lamp, so I didn't really see why I should finish Mire at that point.
Yeah, but by that point, I was already up Death Mountain, and I had gotten it out of the Hookshot Cave, so I'm like, all right, well, if I had to go to Vitreous to get this last item, at least I have Tempered Sword for this.
Speaking of Hookshot Cave, we noticed, Zilvarro, that you. I'm guessing it was probably just a slip of thought, but you actually walked past one of the chests in Hookshot Cave.
Oh, really?
And it had the silver arrows in it.
Oh, that's. I didn't notice that.
It's easy to make a mistake like that in our race with this kind of pressure on it. Like it's not easy keeping concentration for the entire race, especially when it's like a 2-2 match. But that is something that occurred, and unfortunately, even if everything had continued going like straight through, Rick still would have had that during the final battle.
Yeah, they're saying that if everything was working out properly, it would have been very close as we were in Turtle Rock together, but...
Yeah, because you both entered Turtle Rock at about the same time from the clears. I think, Zilvarro, you entered probably about 20 seconds ahead, but you'd already checked the first chest, so you were maybe like 40 to 45 seconds ahead going into Turtle Rock without the ice rod.
Yeah, I kinda thought I was behind, so I decided to gamble for the Ice Rod to be in Turtle Rock, and instead Go Mode or Semi-Go Mode, Swamp and Ice Palace. But yeah, it didn't pay off.
Yeah, it was too many items from Go Mode to even try to do Ice Palace in Go Mode fashion, so... I was
I
happy
mean,
to
I
find
got
the
2
Ice...
items out of Ice Palace, so
I was happy to find the Ice Rod there, but I was unhappy to find the Ice Rod there because I was thinking, oh god, you're gonna give me the Quake next, and that will get me into Turtle Rock to get the bow.
The way
yeah,
the seed,
because I got the flippers very very late. Like the seed played totally different for me, I think, because I got the bow earlier, but the flippers were at that point, I think, one of the last items that I could check.
yeah, I could see both of you assuming the seed was going to do the worst thing possible, given the way it was. It had already been playing out. I'm guessing you decided to go mode Ice Palace just as a case of feeling like really far behind by that point, and you were just hinging on Ice Rod being in TR.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a play that does actually make sense when at that time and everything that's happened so far. It's an extremely risky one, but I think there are a lot of people that would have done something similar.
It was just one of those sick and twisted seeds, but GG for getting through it, Zilvarro. Good luck to you in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, GG. Good luck to you too.
Yeah, GG to the both of you. I believe we'll be wrapping it up here. Any final words, Sterling Collette?
No, just normal, GG to both the runners. The people that are watching in chat, if you enjoyed watching this, definitely give them both a follow. They did a great job today. Other than that, shout outs to Regaro for doing our tracking for us. Everybody behind the scenes that's getting this tournament working. I know there's a lot of work going behind the scenes that even the commentators don't know about. And, thank you for co-commentating with me, Voidborn.
Not an issue. Thank you for joining me here. It was a seed to experience while not actually playing.
I'll enjoy the watch back of this.
For the time being, though, I believe, unless you two have any final words.
I think I'm all set. Thank you guys for commentating this, and GG once again, Zilvarro, and thanks, Greg, for clicking the buttons when we found the items.
Yeah, thanks to the commentators and trackers, and also to all the viewers. GG, and see you next time.
And with that, have a good evening, everyone.